Today is finally the day that Sally's going to the dyno. Sorry about the bad angles, but I literally have nobody to film me right now. Regardless, Sally is going to be going with the Ess G3X. We're on the 100mm pulley, so I think the car's making around 16 to 17 PSI, and that should put me in the over 900 wheel horsepower range. Now we are going to be testing out two combinations, both the intake air filter and a velocity stack with a turbo guard in it. Yeah, I pretty much showed that in a previous video. We're going to see what makes more power in this car on the dyno. So without further ado, let's get off of my slicks because I recently put on my Hoosiers on the beadlocks and get back on my street tires for the dyno. This is going to be a testament of how well I built this car because I did all the work. You guys saw it. I even put in the built trans and the clutch, which by the way are both broken in now. The clutch required 500 braking miles from Uni Clutch, which included city driving and all that type of stuff. So we also needed 500 shifts. I got that done. And then Calimer recommended a 1,000-mile break-in to set in the synchros. And we did all that. So I started at about 900 miles. I'm at 2,000 miles on the car. Since I installed everything, it's broken in, it's ready to go. All I need to do is switch to these street tires. I'm just checking the oil before we get on the dyno because, you know, probably would be a good idea. I've driven about 1,800 miles with this so far since I did the last oil change, and 1,800 miles with the new blower. So oil was good. It's marking halfway through the dipstick or almost at the top dot. We're not a quart low or anything. We're ready. Just to clarify, the break-in for both the trans and the clutch were nothing special. It was just literally driving around. I could have made a video on it, but like, there wasn't much in it. I was just regularly driving, you know, shifting gears exactly like this, hitting every gear, downshifting a ton, and then I actually purposefully went in traffic too to ensure that I was getting those clutch engagements, because that's a very important part. You want to bed in the clutch and make sure you disengage, engage, and that's what I did. Actually sounds like a Jetson car because it has more straight cut gears than factory. You can hear it on deceleration. It's like woo, 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 woo. It's pretty cool. So we'll see what this thing makes in the first place, but Lund told me they want to hit 4th gear 6,000 RPMs as a baseline, then they'll advise me, and then we can really rip it. So they want to make sure it's running right before we, you know, go full throttle and commit to it and rev out to 8,000 RPMs on this thing. Baseline log is done, but Lund said the car is running very rich and pulling timing. So they said they want me to confirm that it's real E85. I got it at racetrack and it was E78. So I don't know, that was a week ago. Maybe it diluted down by now. But we have it out here. We took a fuel fitting off to test it, and yeah, so we poured some fuel in this cup. We'll test it in just a second. If it's E85, then we'll get some more, fill up the tank. But if it's not, then probably an exhaust leak, because I know you all hear it. Get me a new tune, so I'm just gonna load it and then we're gonna do another baseline pull to 6,000. Hopefully that adjusted the issue. If not, we're looking at exhaust leaks or a vacuum leak possibly. That one sounded stronger. Sound. We'll see. We're actually gonna have to reschedule this entire thing, so we're unstrapping the car from the dyno right now because Lund Racing, or my tuner there, basically told me that I need a proper catch can setup. I don't have one that vents to the atmosphere right now, and he said that could be causing some piston rattle due to the excessive, what did he say, crankcase pressure. So that's why we're gonna go ahead and order a catch can, and then we'll try again. We'll come back either tomorrow or the day after and do this again, all over again. So basically that catch can is gonna go off of the valve cover on this side, off of the valve cover there, delete the thing that goes to the intake, because right now it goes from the valve cover to the intake, and we should be good. Get rid of that issue, but 746 wheel horsepower and I have 5,700 RPM. Coyotes don't even make peak power until 7,000-ish. So with the Whipple setup, I made 580 at what? 5,700 RPM, exactly. Yeah, I looked at the dyno graph. So we're up 200 wheel at the same RPM. We should definitely hit over 900. Luckily, my tuner sent me an email exactly stating this after the last pull on the dyno. He said, I don't recommend that you continue to do pulls until you get that vent to atmosphere catch can. If you do want to advance and continue on with the pulls, you have to acknowledge that I didn't recommend it. So I said, you know what? You know better. We're going to listen to you. You know what you're doing. I'm not a professional tuner for Mustangs. So yeah, I just listened to him. I was better safe than sorry. Last thing I needed to do was window the block or lose a piston ring. That's what he was saying was most likely to happen due to excessive manifold pressure. I think that's what he said. No, crankcase pressure from the lack of proper catch can setup for this setup. So it worked for the Whipple, but obviously not for this one. That's why we're having that issue. And I'm just glad that I didn't continue to advance and push it. But UPR, or the guys that sell the catch can, are actually local to me. So I'm going to go pick it up right now. I thought I was going to have to order it. I think I'm going to take the Camaro because it has AC. My Mustang doesn't have an AC right now, as you all know. It's going to be a lot more comfortable just to take solely over here. I do apologize if what I was trying to say didn't make sense because I am very tired. I've slept very little in the past 2 days getting the cars ready and that type of stuff and being back and forth from Orlando. But what I was trying to explain is that I don't have a proper catch can setup, right? So it's not able to vent a lot of that pressure from the boost. So we're shoving a lot of boost and air pressure because I'm at 18 PSI with this pulley. And essentially Sally is trying to get rid of that extra pressure by using the crankcase breather. So the crankcase breather setup right now is just to the manifold and the catch can, and then it reroutes back into the manifold. So it's going back into the engine. What my tuner wants is it to vent to the atmosphere with a catch can, so a metal piece, and then a breather on top. So we're getting rid of that excess pressure because he said that 100% is causing the detonation that we saw in the log. And it's from the piston shaking from the excess pressure. That's what he said, or some other terminology. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember again, but the piston is shaking and causing the knock sensors to go off. And what that can do is actually bust a ringlet, and he did the same thing in his car. So we're gonna take away the possibility of that happening or lessen the likelihood by getting this catch can. Catch can is absolutely massive compared to my current one, so hopefully it fixes the problem. We'll see when we're data logging and street tuning Sally. I guess Sally's going back on the Hoosiers now.
A few moments later.
I'm doing a completely separate video for the catch can install, so you all can tune into that one, but I'm gonna see where this exhaust leak is. If it's before the wideband O2 sensor, then we have a problem because that could throw the car off. If it's after, it doesn't really matter. So we'll see in just a second. Well, boys, I found the exhaust leak. It's actually coming from the header flange where it meets the exhaust. So there's no problem with my welds or what I did to the side exit like I possibly thought it could be. It's actually something with the gaskets probably, or maybe this wasn't tightened down enough. So I'm just gonna try it again. I don't really know where I could get these gaskets right now. Hopefully the leak goes away because when I was under here, it was really loud from right here. And just a quick little FYI, that could actually cause my car to run rich and not run right like it was on the dyno because the wideband is right here, which is further downstream, and the leak was right there. So it's throwing the reading all off, and that's probably why Sally isn't running right and running rich. Not you guys, but it sounds like that exhaust leak is completely gone. As this tune flashes, which is no longer limited to 6,000 RPM, we'll be able to get on it, so it should be pretty quick. We'll see in just a second. A little better this time. It feels fast though. instructed to do so.
The next day.
Wants one more hit, 3,500 to 6,500, full throttle. So let's get that done before torrential rainfall happens, because it is about to happen. 900 wheel horsepower car, so we'll see if I can handle it in just a second. Wasn't too bad bogging it out, actually. Camaro was scarier to drive. Pumps actually ended up going out, but I'm fixing it right now. I got the tank open. Really easy, took me about 20 minutes. Slightly crashing Sally again? Well, technically not. I basically left the car in gear, and when I was working on the fuel system, I was so tired and not paying attention that I started the car, turned around, and let it fly forward. So I let go of the clutch while it was in first gear. It hit the fridge. I did end up breaking the bumper again, but I plastic welded it back together. So that means let's try this again. Let's go to the dyno. So it made 854.48, but you can see there's something going on at the top here. I think that's a little belt slip, because a lot of people complain about that with the stock belt they give you, and that's why they go with the Gates green one that I have on the Camaro. But yeah, I made 854, 85 wheel torque. I think we're gonna go ahead and try the no filter next, because I have the blower guard, so we'll see if it picks up any power with it. So we'll see if this setup makes more power than this. I'm gonna take a guess and say that it makes 20 more wheel with it. I want to hit the 900s. So there's your answer. It definitely picked up power, 20 more wheel with the blower guard, as opposed to the intake. I knew it would work because everyone was making videos about this ages ago. Now, I was really looking for that 900 plus number. It is what it is. I'm still on stock shorty headers with a Bluetooth cat setup. So I think if I throw the long tubes on there, I don't even know if I said this already, but I'm excited. But anyways, I think if I throw it on there, it'll reach the 900 number that I was looking for. It's pretty restricted with a 2-inch exhaust right now. And yeah, the stock headers. Not too bad, 870. Definitely made more power with the blower guard setup. I was reading the logs here. Mike went ahead and mounted up the Forge Stars to the Hoosiers. That looks crazy. So when I get home, the new house, I still haven't showed you all that, but we'll go ahead and put the full drag pack on so you can see. On my way to the new house, and apparently they're landing 2 choppers on the highway right now. So I don't know what's going on with that. They completely closed it down. But we will see. I am sitting here. I want to see these choppers land. That's obviously the number 2 one that's about to land right now. That I finally made it to the new house here, out here in Orlando. So I'm renting here, I don't own it, but let's go ahead and talk about the Uni-Clutch and the Calamar transmission that I both installed. So the Uni-Clutch track is rated for 1300 wheel torque. As you all saw, we only made like high 600 wheel torque, almost 700. So it held up, no problem whatsoever. Obviously the clutch wasn't slipping, it was perfect. We're gonna see how it does on the track when we get some heat in it, after the burnout, slipping the clutch and that type of stuff, because I'm actually testing out some street hits. I brought the prep with me from the track months ago, so we're gonna go ahead and try that, and I'm installing a watt box, so there's gonna be tons of use of the clutch, very soon, but it held up on the dyno just fine. And yeah, the Calamar transmission is good too. I hope it holds up when I'm slamming it into third gear. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And special surprise, there's a new car coming to the channel in a couple of days. So definitely make sure to stay tuned. We will be doing a new house tour that I'm renting as a separate video. So I'll show you the garage, sneak peek, that's it.